Welcome back. President Trump signing the Memorandum of Understanding yesterday to end the conflict with Iran. The details of the deal released yesterday, and Republicans are urging the president to send the MOU to Congress for review. Some Republican senators are also interested in ratifying this historic agreement. Joining me now is Georgia Congressman Richard McCormick, member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. He served in the United States Marine Corps and the Navy for over 20 years. Congressman, we always thank you for your service to this great nation. Thank you so much for all you've done. Give us your thoughts on this deal.
It's got some good things. At least we open up the economy again. But quite frankly, it's a MOU. It's not really binding. It frees up a lot of money for Iran, and I don't trust that regime and what they're going to do with that money. I don't like the fact that they're going to be allowed to charge a service fee. I know they're not allowed to charge a toll, but a service fee. This really improves their economy. It doesn't give us assurances that they don't have a nuclear program that they're going to try to rebuild. There's a lot of things we still have to iron out. I think it's a step in the right direction, but it's not a complete resolution of this conflict at all.
What are the Democrats saying about it?
They're just going to criticize that we even got into it in the first place. Yeah. They're saying that it didn't fix the problem we got into the war for the first place, that of course, we have the straits opened up again. That's where we start at. They're going to be all criticism and no solution, and that's typical the Democrats.
Meanwhile, the administration is hard at work investigating fraud across the country. Acting Labor Secretary Keith Sonderling was with us here yesterday with the official announcement. Watch this.
The Department of Labor, the unemployment insurance system during the Biden administration experienced one of the largest thefts of taxpayer dollars in U.S. history. Around $900 billion was given out during the COVID era related to unemployment insurance, and $135 billion of that was stolen by fraud. Payments went to people under 14 years old, to prisoners, to dead people, to people over 115. And most egregiously, somebody who was born in the year 2154 was able to apply for unemployment insurance and get it. But the vice president's task force is eliminating all of this fraud. We will use every resource we have to stop states from making fraudulent unemployment insurance payments, including, for the first time in history, cutting off administrative funds to those states who aren't complying.
Congressman, what about that? You sit on the House Oversight Committee. It's been leading this investigation into fraud. Your thoughts on this announcement?
The problem with the way the Democrats set it up is basically they were begging to give away money. They were encouraging fraud. You can see it the way that what happened up in the Somalians up in Minnesota in that program. You can see it with Medicaid and Medicare. This is the tip of the iceberg. Unfortunately, whenever the government gets involved, not only is it twice as much to fund anything, but there is a ton of waste, fraud, abuse to the tens of billions, probably the hundreds of billions of dollars that are wasted and fraudulently taken from the American taxpayer for all these different programs, not just this program, but almost every program has the same kind of problem.
Let me get your take on what can get done at this point in Congress. I mean, the House returning to Washington next week with roughly 2 weeks left on the agenda calendar before your August recess. There's a lot that Republicans want to get done before the month-long break. Talk to us about a potential reconciliation package, a third one, the Save America Act. There's so much to get done, and yet it feels like the Senate is either unwilling or unable to get the president's agenda across the finish line. This came up when I spoke with the Majority Leader John Thune recently. Watch this. People want to be able to have rules in place that you show ID, that you have proof of citizenship to vote. How come we can't get this across the finish line?
Well, because we don't have the votes. And for me, it's a function of math. And we are, and it's a popular issue with the American public. But the Democrats in the Senate have block voted against many of the things you just mentioned. And we have put those votes on the floor. The issue with respect to the parliamentarian is one where, even under reconciliation, it has to be principally about budget and not policy. And Save America would not be at a 51 vote threshold. It would be at a 60 vote threshold under the rules.
So what do you think, Congressman? Should we be buying this? I mean, why can't the Senate execute the president's agenda? And what's the problem with the Save America Act in the Senate?
He's saying that because it's not affecting the budget, you need more than the simple majority, that you can't do it in reconciliation. You need 60 votes. I don't buy it. We're very creative. We found lots of different ways to tie these things together.
Yeah.
I think the president's resolute. He said he's going to tie it to Pfizer or whatever else he needs to sign. The good news is the Republican Party has been probably uniquely united in their voting efforts. Despite only having a 2-vote margin, we've been able to pass things still. I'm very hopeful we'll still get a reconciliation passed, which is Herculean in its efforts, and I applaud both the speaker and the president for putting a lot of pressure on members to find a compromise and get things across the finish line. But the Save America Act is vital to our future and to actually having accountability and actually winning elections the right way. You saw what happened in California, and we got to stop things like that from happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, and most people get that, you know, so I don't understand. I mean, I think it's just haters in the Senate, frankly, Congressman. But you did get, looks like the housing bill has a path to enactment, Congressman. Could be positive for manufactured and modular housing, and certainly positive for home builders. Your thoughts?
Huge step in the right direction. We know that affordability for Americans is first. Housing and medical expenses are two of the biggest costs anybody can have, and we got to do a lot better because both are way too expensive. We've overregulated the industries, gotten rid of competition. It's not the American way, and we can get back to that and encourage businesses to build again. We'll do just great.
All right, we'll be watching all that. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you so much. Congressman Richard McCormick joining us. We'll see you soon.